Hi, I'm Robert. I come to you as an automobile enthusiast that has maintained, serviced, and repaired my own vehicles in excess of 30 years. I currently drive a car with over 230,000 miles on it, and I once had a car that had over 400,000 miles on it and ran very well. While you're watching the video, please watch a step or two ahead. Sometimes the current step is better explained in the next step or two. Also, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you benefit from the information. Not sure if you can hear it or not, but my fan is squeaking, making noise, which means the bearings are dry. It's best to lubricate the motor if you want to try to save it. If you let that go on too long, the dry bearings will end up causing the motor to fail. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the fan out and lubricate it. Here's the tools and equipment I use to lubricate the fan. I use the lithium grease, and I have this plumbing fitting that I set the fan cage on and have the fan housing down inside of it to punch the fan off of the fan cage. Then I got a hammer I use to tap that through with. I use this long extension and that Phillips screwdriver as the punch to get the fan off of there. I got a small Allen that I use to wedge in to get the hinges off the glove compartment door. I got a couple of zip ties that I use to stop the hinges from falling through. I got a T25, a T20, and a 13mm ratchet. Before you take the fan apart or unplug it, you want to make sure your controls are in the off position. You don't want to activate the system with the fan unplugged. It'll probably throw you an error code. Get your T25 and take these 3 screws loose. One here, and one here. And those are under the glove box door because you'll need access under the dash. After you have those 3 screws, pull this a little bit towards you and work it down and out away from the dash. Let me do it with both hands. Now that that panel under there is open, you can see the knee bolster, and then you can see a couple of components under the dash. Next thing I'm going to do is take out the glove box, so go ahead and open the glove box door. First thing you do when taking out the glove box is release the 2 arms, one on each side. If you look at these arms, you see there's a little hole on the side. You stick a little screwdriver or pin down there, push the tab a little bit in, and then this arm will come loose. If you're not careful, this arm will fall back into the dash. So I always use like a garbage bag tie or something like that to attach to it once I get it loose. So let me go ahead and get that loose. I got the other side loose. It worked a little better with a small Allen wrench. Okay, that's what the latch looks like that you get out. So you have to push that tab on the side of it there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the garbage bag tie through it before it falls through that hole like it just tried to do. Next thing you want to do is pull the screws out from around the glove box area. There are several screws. I see 6 screws. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those 6 screws out. Okay, after you get the screws out, the glove box will pull out towards you. You normally have to do it with 2 hands. Then you got to work the glove box around this latch because that latch stays there. So you'll have to pry that down a little bit to get the glove box the rest of the way out past that. So I'm going to go ahead and use 2 hands and pull the glove box the rest of the way out. Once you get it clear from that top latch receiver, the rest of it just pulls out. Now you can see the blower motor back in here. The knee bolster is in the way of getting that stuff out, so the next thing I'm going to do is pull that. Next thing I'm going to do is remove the knee bolster. It has 2 screws access from this side. Then it has 2 screws, 2 nuts access from this hole. So it's got 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. Remove all 4 of those 13mm nuts. Okay, I got all 4 bolts removed from this knee bolster. I find it easier to remove it from up top. I push this side down off of the threads, and then I do the same thing on this side. Then I try to work it a little bit toward the outside of the car and work the part toward the middle down out of the bottom. And once I get that side down out of the bottom, then this side comes out easy. So I'll go ahead and pull that. Okay, I got the bolster out. The side toward the center of the car came out first, and then the other side came out right after that. Now you can better see the fan from here. The next thing I'm going to do is just pull this wire harness off the fan. It just pulls loose, and now you can see a couple of the screws in the fan. Then I have a wire connection down here on the bottom of the fan that I'm going to go down and take loose and show you how to get that loose. First thing I'm going to do is take this first wire plug loose. So it looks like it has a couple of latches like that. I pulled that one loose a little bit there. I'm going to pull the other one a little bit loose there and then unplug that from the fan. So let me get that done with both. Okay, I got that unplugged. I could have probably just unplugged the wire there and left that with the fan, but I went on ahead and unplugged it from the fan. I'll need it unplugged anyway. Next thing I'm going to do is take this loose. It slides up and drops down out of the way. And now it looks like I can pull a couple of bolts out of the fan. I got one down here at, looks like 7 o'clock. I got 2 over here at 3 and 3:30. Then I have one up top at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to pull those, looks like T20s or T25s, and remove the fan. Now that I got the bolts loose, the fan is basically just falling out. So I'm going to pull the fan out and make sure I don't damage any wires in the process. Let me do that with 2 hands. Now that I have the fan motor out, I'm going to go ahead and pull the fan out of the housing. And all the other bolts have been a T25. This one is a T20. So go ahead and pull that with a T20. Behind that screw is some kind of grommet or something. Don't lose that because you need that to put back in there. Then since I already pulled that plug off of the fan connectors, this housing should just slide right off of the fan. Let me do that with 2 hands so I don't damage my fan. Okay, that piece the top did just slide right off. Now, as you can see, I have easy access to the top bearing, but I don't have easy access to the bearing through the cage. So what you might want to do is take the motor out of the cage, which is kind of hard, but let me show you how I did it. Not sure when, but somewhere along the road I picked up this plumbing fitting. You can use 2x4s to brace it or whatever, but this motor falls down in there and supports that. Then I punch the tip of the fan shaft through the cage. Be careful you don't damage the cage when you do that. They could be brittle. So I'm going to go ahead and drive that out with a punch and a hammer. Okay, now that I got the motor out of the fan cage, I have easy access to both bearings, the front side and the back side. So lube those up real quick. Try not to get lubrication on the inside of the motor, and then start your reverse process, putting it all back together. I'm going to use a white lithium grease spray to lube it. So I think I did this about 2 years ago, and it's got noisy again within the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to try to do it a little better this time. Okay, I got the ends of the motor lubricated real good with the lithium grease. I'm going to go ahead and connect the motor back to the fan housing. Okay, I got the cage back on. I put the tip just about where it was when I took it off. Now I'm going to slide the back housing back on the fan. When you put the housing back on the fan, make sure that your two wire connections are lined up to where you can see them through here when you put that on, and then that screw hole will go back over that screw thing. So line that up when you slide that on there. Okay, I got the housing on where I can see the screw hole through there. Then I can see the two tips of my electrical connectors through there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that screw in there. Go ahead and spin the fan cage while you have the housing on it to make sure that it doesn't make contact with the top housing, so you didn't put that shaft through too far. Alright, what I suggest you doing now is plugging your fan in and turning the car on and seeing if it makes any more noise. So run it through all the speeds, hold it in your hand. Don't just start it out fast because it will have some torque. It'll try to jump out of your hand. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the car on and run the fan through. Okay, as you can see, I got the fan going. It's nice and quiet. So I'm going to go ahead and install it the rest of the way. When you set the fan in place, it has a special groove to make sure it falls in the housing correctly. So make sure it's in place good and install those 4 screws. Okay, lock the wire harnesses back in place. You store that one and you store the one down on the bottom there. Move that one out of the way. Now I'm going to go ahead and reinstall my knee bolster. This part is designed to protect your legs in a case of an accident or something for the passenger, so I'm going to go ahead and put that back. Okay, this knee bolster is supposed to be installed with 4 screws. It has 2 screws on this side and 2 nuts on that side. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and slide the glove box in, and I'm going to feed the 2 hinge supports through the glove box, and I'm going to make sure that top piece clips through there. And when I install these screws, I'm going to snug them down. I'm not going to tighten them down because these glove boxes are very brittle, and when you tighten them down, you break the screw holes that's on the back of the glove box. So try not to tear those up putting it in too tight. Now that the glove box is in place, I'm going to go ahead and put the screws in before I snap in the hinge supports. What I found to help on putting these screws in is I normally push on the glove compartment, push it in place, then snug the screw down, and that stops you from using the screw in the plastic to pull it in tight. So that may help prevent some of the breaking screw hole supports on these glove boxes. So you push right beside each screw, then you snug the screw down. Next, I'm going to carefully take these ties off of here and slide these down there and snap the hinge supports in place. Next thing I'm going to do is put the under dash panel on, and it has a little support there for the inside and the support on the other side. And if you look under there are some channels that those fit into. So when you fit those in the channels, the piece will fit up nicely against the bottom, and put those 3 screws in the bottom. Don't put them too tight or you can crack the panel or mess up the screw holes. Okay, you want to make sure you get those channeled in on both sides so that you don't have a problem with the panel fitting up properly. When that lower panel fit in properly, your floor vent is in that opening nice and secure, and everything looks real good. So now I go ahead, turn the car on, and I can run the fan through the whole cycle, and I shouldn't hear any squeaking. good to go. If you feel that this information was beneficial, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can also subscribe to my channel so that you can get notification of future videos that I post. Visit my channel. I have all types of do-it-yourself videos there. You can leave questions here and I'll try to respond to them as quick as possible. You can also visit my website at robertspinner.com. Thanks again for watching.